Now, more on our top story this morning. The death toll from the Fort Hood shooting rising this morning to 13. The shooting allegedly carried out by Army psychiatrist Major Nidal Malik Hassan.
Joining us right now to discuss this, where we go from here and what happened, the congressman from that area, Texas Representative Mike McCaul. Congressman, what could you tell us that's developed over the last few hours that might shed some additional light on this attack?
Well, first, my thoughts and prayers go to the victims and their families on this very, very tragic event. I think the thing that broke late last night was that this individual, Mr. Hassan, is not dead, that he's still alive and, in fact, in very stable condition.
Exactly.
I think, and that's important in terms of getting inside his head as to what motivated him to do this very disturbing act.
Do you have any problem with the fact that he was initially reported dead for quite some time and then reported alive? What's your take on that?
We were getting a lot of conflicting, information last night, trying to weed out what was correct, what wasn't correct. It happens. There's a lot of, obviously, there was a lot of pandemonium yesterday, and a lot of confusion. But the fact is, he is alive, and I suspect that the FBI needs to fully investigate this case and look at all of his communications to determine what was motivating this individual. And was he emailing people in the United States who don't have our interests at heart, or was he talking to people overseas?
Mm-hmm. Well, Congressman, are you disturbed that apparently there was some recognition by federal authorities that this man was perhaps on the Internet comparing suicide bombings to American soldiers throwing themselves on grenades?
I am. As long as 6 months ago, they saw Internet postings by this individual talking about suicide bombings, talking about threats to the United States. And I've been told the FBI cannot identify or trace it right back to him. But it does raise some questions about this case. And I know the FBI, again, is looking very closely at who is this individual talking to prior to this incident. His parents are from Jordan. He's Jordanian descent. He obviously had some issues with performance, didn't believe in the mission in Iraq and Afghanistan, and now he's taking it out on his fellow soldiers.
Yeah, but Congressman, here's my question this morning. Commissioner Kelly here in New York City told us yesterday on our show he's thwarted 9 terrorist plots in New York City alone since 9/11. And here you have one of our own, a member of our own military, who by all accounts gave out tremendous red flags over the last 6 months. Could it be that our own military is so politically correct right now, and I'm not denigrating them, I'm just saying so politically correct to be careful about treatment of Muslims, that they would have allowed this to go by?
It's an excellent point. We know that military installations are a target of al-Qaeda. You look at the Fort Dix operations that we foiled and many other in the United States. Fort Hood is the largest military installation in the United States. And there were flags going off. And I think we're going to hear more and more as this progresses, more and more flags that were going up. Yep. In terms of him talking to his cousin about how he didn't believe in the mission, and how these Internet postings and many other concerns about this individual. And I think you're going to hear a lot more coming out.
Congressman, we want to call on you again because we know you're going to be at the tip of the spear when it comes to the investigation. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you so much.
Straight ahead.
Another breaking story.